5 key points to consider. First up, investigate potential locations. I'm going to pull up the worksheet on page 39. The location analyzer checklist. Kevin, I think if it's good for this section, we can just go over this from top to bottom, and you can just give some context. All right, so first up, think with my head, not with my heart.
Yeah, so with the context on that, you need to look at facts and figures. So instead of look through it as a martial arts eyes, look through it as a business person's eyes, and you need to look at all the things that could possibly go wrong, eliminate those and balance it out and go, all right, this is a good decision on that area. So think with your head and not with your heart. I mean, obviously you want to look like the look of the building and all that, but at the same token, it might not be the right building for you.
All right, commercial property, light commercial or industrial?
So mall, industrial centre, light commercial. So light commercial is probably the most affordable because you don't want to be in a heavy industrial area, and in a mall is very expensive in Australia. It's ridiculous, You want to have 1,000 students to afford the rent in a big mall. So something that's light commercial, so it's like a shop front with a factory behind in the same building, and that seems to be the best that I've found to date to work the best for us anyway.
Perfect. All right, number 3, do my neighbours operate 24 hours a day?
Yeah, as I said, if you've got a trucking company next door, we found a location which has ticked all the boxes except for this one. Trucking company coming and going, and you couldn't hardly hear when I was talking to the real estate agent. In the building, I could hardly hear what she was saying because trucks were backing in and out, loading up, leaving and coming. So I went and asked the guy, I said, oh, you guys are busy? He said, yeah, we're here 24 hours a day. And I said, thank you. And that was the end of that. So you need to make sure it's not going to impede on your practice of you running your school.
All right, and leading on that, so number 4, dust in the air or being generated by neighbours. So more environment.
Yeah. A tyre factory and a welding workshop, a carpentry workshop. I know there's a lot of dust extractors and all that, but there's still a lot of residue stuff floats through and in onto your mats, and then could ruin them or ruin everyone's lungs. So you need to be aware of that, what the other businesses are. Now, you could say, well, what if I go this and then they lease the business out to someone like that? That is a little bit of a pitfall in being in an industrial area. So a light commercial area is less likely for that to occur. That's why I choose that over industrial area.
Great. Okay, perfect. All right. Number 5, is the environment great for students and parents?
Well, this one probably correlates with the first one, but you want to make sure, is it well lit enough for coming and going? What time do your neighbours close of an afternoon? Do you, have to be concerned about comings and going of tradespeople or people working in the industrial area? Even in a light commercial area, what sort of businesses are in the area, and is it a good environment for your students? We used to have a location right next to a pole dancing school, which was really good because the mums would drop the kids off, and then it turned into an adult entertainment venue, which wasn't so good. Then the dads used to drop the kids off. Just joking. It was pretty unique, but no one used your car parking space, and everyone walked in with their head down. So I don't know what they were doing in there, but the environment changed on us, but that sort of went out of business or moved somewhere pretty quickly, so that was okay. Enough parking. This is a big one now. You're subject to council requirements and subject to a whole bunch of things. Every council has their own little king and their own little queen and their own little empire, and they're very inflexible. But there's a ratio of 1 parking spot per 12 participants, roughly. I think they have all these formulas, but I use the dance school formula, and that is you're allowed to have, if you keep your classes less than 12 people, you only need X amount of parking spaces. But you have to look at that closely. That's probably one of the key things. The parking is the hardest. Also, when we set up in one of our locations in Canberra, in the Australian Capital Territory, it was subject to some all these land acts, all these various heritage land acts and that, which made it a little bit difficult, but we were able to navigate our way around those. So parking is probably something that's going to be an issue. If it was previously a gym, a dance studio, a yoga studio, or something similar, that's great. Like we slotted straight into a former Curves gym, and we didn't have any issue with parking whatsoever. That's something we really got to get.
Perfect. So number 7, and again, a lot of these things are obvious, but having the checklist is just, it's easy just to miss one. That being, is it safe?
And you got to go there at night time. Is it pitch black? I like to see, is it, or do you, okay, they use a shopping centre car parking and then come into your venue, walk up a dark alley. You've got to make sure it's safe for parents and kids, because it's not always, sunshine's not always out. Most of the time it's dark. Is it a dark entry point? Do they have to come from the train station and or parking station? So you just got to look at those factors as well. So is it safe for your students and their families?
Right, perfect. Number 8, who opens up when we start?
Okay, so you need to look at businesses that may open up at the same time you do, what sort of businesses they are. And you also need to look, like some businesses start different shifts through the day and have different activities. So you just need to check out the area.
Perfect. Number 9 goes kind of hand in hand with this, but visit at the times you'll be open.
Again, this is looking at, for example, when you're trying to get into our facility here, it's school pickup time or drop-off time or pickup time, sorry, and it's a nightmare. We have a lot of car parking spaces and we have a big car park across the road and around the back, but man, I'm always terrified someone's going to get run over, but when we first went there, the school hadn't opened down the road, it wasn't even on the map. So, but it's a double-edged sword because we get all the kids going past, so it's a win for us, but it's just the logistics of, people coming in and out. So you just need to look at that sort of stuff.
Perfect. All right. Number 10, will parents be inconvenienced?
And that comes with dropping up, often picking off the kids. Do you have them in your facility watching classes or you don't? That's a whole debate and discussion in itself. Is there something for them to go and do? Is there something nearby? Is there shops nearby? Is there a short drive to the mall? Is it, they can drop the kids off and the kids can wait whilst mum goes and does the groceries, So those things go hand in hand.
Right, perfect. Number 11, this is a big one. Internet and mobile reception.
Well, we found a location where we looked into a city and it was downhill and there was no mobile. There's just none. And it was just useless, because you couldn't, even if you got we spoke to Telstra, the phone company, who asked about boosting towers and boosting speed and all that. It was just no good. So we had to let that one go.
My wife always laughs, and so does my son. But wherever we travel, I've got, and you should have this app on your phone, at least just for mobile. It's called Speed Test. And the first thing I do wherever we stay on holiday anywhere is I go to Speed Test and I see what internet have I got. It's just become a habit because, well, hey, that's how I work. But it's worth doing that, right? Because it will speed test. You can go to speedtest.net. That's on your on a desktop. But if you're on your phone, Speed Test app will tell you a lot about what type of reception you've got. And if you've got no internet on the mobile, that's going to be a red flag right there. You might want to start having a good look. The other thing is then to actually check, obviously, what type of connection can you get as well. All right. Number 12, ideal distance to manage remotely, minimum 30 minutes away, maximum 60.
If you've got to travel and you're managing the location with staff and you're there, and maybe you've got some of your existing staff coming, working from their hometown where your current facility is to the next one. You've got to bear in mind they've got to travel down there, and if it's an hour and a half away, it's just untenable. So we try to keep it around 30 minutes. And also, in fairness to our licence holders, you're not allowed to have a licence within 30 minutes from the next location. So it works good in a rural area because each town's about half an hour or so apart, 40 minutes. But in the suburbs, in the cities, same thing is they progress out to the next suburb. So that's just a little formula we use. And I'll talk about the bonus here. Are there any other businesses already target audience? So if there's gyms and yogas and physiotherapists, other sporting activities within close by, soccer fields, football fields, hockey fields, whatever, all close by, not every kid will do martial arts. I don't know why. But, one sibling will do this and that. If you're sort of close to those areas, it's a real win. Like there's a dance studio around the corner and the soccer fields are right behind where we are, and parents love it. One mum clearly said to me, I bring my kids here to this martial arts facility, even though I've got 2 doors down from me where I live, because I take my daughter to dance, I drop my son off here at karate, and my other son plays soccer all at the same time. So sometimes it's a win. A couple of questions popped up. George, do you want to?
Yes. First of all, problems. That was just a dig at my internet habits. Chris, you talk about 10,000 population. Is that within a specific kilometre radius, or of the location? 5 kilometres, 10, etc.
So within a probably a 3 kilometre radius, like a suburb, like a satellite suburb, and also if you're if you go to more rural areas, is a population in that council area 10,000, because that makes a massive difference to what you're trying to achieve. So yes. And
this, it's probably just good to emphasize that, because I know if you're in the middle of a city, something that's 5 kilometers away could be far travel for some people. But if you're in that rural area, I mean, you have people driving 30, 40 minutes.
I have people who drive 120 kilometres each way to train with us twice a week.
Wow.
Which is about 70-odd mile in other people's language. So, they travel, in the country, in the city, if it's not a train stop, 2 train stops away, they're not coming. So it's funny, it's just sort of like different horses for different courses. So you've got to be mindful of that.